You know that feeling of being, well, stuck? Like you're just going through the motions, day in and day out, living a life that doesn't quite feel like your own? I think we've all been there. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into a story that hits on that exact feeling, and more importantly, shows us a pretty incredible way out. So, our guide for this journey is a novel with a fantastic title. Don't wait for the storms to pass. Learn to dance in the rain. And it's all about a young radio host named Emma, whose life is, let's just say, about to get turned completely upside down. It's really a story about what happens when you hit rock bottom and find the guts to climb back up. When we first meet Emma, she is in a state of just complete burnout. I mean, she's overworked, totally underappreciated, and just feels disconnected from the person she's supposed to be. That face staring back at her in the mirror, that's not her. You know that feeling, right? When you catch your reflection and think, who is that tired person and what have they done with me? All right, so let's zoom in on what Emma's life actually looks like. It's the perfect example of a life lived on autopilot, just a routine with absolutely zero joy or real purpose behind it. Okay, so picture this. Her day kicks off way before the sun is up with an alarm clock she absolutely despises. She is so tired. Breakfast? A handful of stale potato chips. Yeah, really. Then there's that moment with the mirror, seeing a total stranger with these huge dark circles. And the craziest part? By 5:30 a.m., she's on the air, faking this bubbly energy she absolutely does not have. It's just this soul-crushing, relentless cycle. And this right here is the heart of the problem. Her official job title is just reporter. But what does she actually do? Oh, she's also the morning show co-host, writes chronicles, covers events, and trains the interns. She's doing like 4 jobs in one. And her pay for all this? Just over 1,500 euros a month, which is barely above minimum wage. Her big rewards for all that extra work? A 500 euro Christmas bonus, and get this, nice business cards. I mean, the whole situation is just, wow, completely out of whack. Okay, but things are about to change, because every story like this has a turning point, right? A catalyst. And for Emma, it's not one, but 2 totally different conversations that are about to shake her world and make her see things in a whole new light. So on the one hand, you've got her boss, Eric, pulling some classic manipulation tactics. The whole, you should be grateful, hundreds of people would kill for your job line. Ugh. But then, on the other hand, you have her friend and colleague, Benjamin, who just lays out the cold, hard truth. He's like, look, that editor title, it's just a trick to get you to do way more work for basically nothing in return. And this is the line that really lands. Benjamin just looks at her and says it straight up. Wake up and get out of your comfort zone. Don't waste your life. It's blunt, for sure, but it's exactly the wake-up call she needed. You can almost feel the light bulb go on in her head right there. That's the moment it all starts. So right when she's starting to question absolutely everything, this new opportunity just falls into her lap. She gets assigned an interview with this guy, Julian Vasquez, who's the super charismatic best-selling author and philosopher. And this is not just another day at the office, not just another interview. This meeting is about to give her the key she needs to completely change her entire mindset. So what happens in the interview? Well, Julian introduces Emma to a concept that sounds really simple, but is honestly life-changing. He calls it the philosophy of choice. Okay, so what is it? Julian tells her that real freedom, it's not about controlling all the stuff that happens to you, because let's be real, you can't. He says true freedom is realizing that you always have the power to choose your reaction. No matter the situation, you are always free to make a decision. And that simple idea, it takes all the power from the outside world and puts it right back in your hands. And he gives her this incredibly practical tool to make it real. It's a tiny change in the words you use. Instead of saying, I have to do something, you start saying, I choose to do it. Think about that. I have to makes you sound like a victim, a spectator in your own life. But I choose to, that makes you the one in the driver's seat, the main character. So for Emma, it's not I have to get up for work. It's I choose to get up for work because I want to keep my job and support my team. It's such a small tweak, but wow, it changes everything. And then he leaves her with this killer quote from the old school philosopher Seneca. It's basically a call to action. Hurry to live well, and remember that each day is a life in itself. In other words, stop just getting through your days and start living them. Every single day is a brand new chance to make choices. All right, so Emma has this brand new philosophy. And does she just sit around and think about it? Nope.
she puts it into action immediately. And where does she go first? Straight back to the source of all her stress, her boss, Eric. So, what do you think happens when you take this newfound power, this new sense of choice, and apply it to a problem where you used to feel completely helpless? Well, Emma's about to show us.
So Emma marches right into Eric's office. But this isn't the old Emma coming in to complain or just take whatever he dishes out. No way. This time, she has made a choice. She is there to demand what she's worth, a real contract and a salary that actually reflects all the jobs she's been doing.
And when Eric, tries to brush her off, she doesn't back down. She stands her ground with this amazing new confidence. She's not asking for a favor. She's stating a fact about her value. This is a whole different person from the one we saw eating stale chips in the dark. This is someone who finally knows what she's worth.
And this is the real power move. When Eric just flat out dismisses her, she doesn't fall apart. Instead, she makes another choice. She looks at him and says she's done with the unofficial editor title. From this moment on, she will only be doing the work that's actually in her contract, the reporter job she's being paid for. Bam. She just drew a massive line in the sand and took back all the control.
Now, that big confrontation, that was just the start. Emma's taken her power back at work, but her journey of rediscovering herself is really just kicking off. So, remember Julian, the philosopher author? Well, during their interview, he had actually invited her to try out a new project he was working on, this virtual coaching program called Find Your Own Way. And at the time, she was like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm just so busy."
But after that showdown with Eric, she pulls out her phone and sends Julian a text. And this text shows everything has changed. Check out the key word here. She doesn't say she'll try to make time or she has to do it. She writes, "I choose to take the time." Boom. She's completely embraced the lesson. She is officially done being a spectator in her own story.
And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Emma's story is proof that just one little shift in your mindset, from I have to I choose to, can be the very first step in taking your life back. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one have to in your own life that starting today you could reframe as a choice?